but it was a vision of Dr. Reverend Leonard, William C. Leonard, that it was time for Tuskegee to do something in commemoration or in honor or memory of Dr. Carver. And the first event was held on the campus of Tuskegee University. It was then called the George Washington Carver Arts and Crafts Festival. And much of the emphasis, of course, was on displaying of arts and crafts, because Dr. Carver, by the way, was an artist. He loved the beauty not only of creative art, but he loved the beauty of the natural earth. So the festival began on the campus of Tuskegee Institute University. And several years later, the festival was moved to downtown Tuskegee. To attract more people. Moved down to the city square, downtown city square of Tuskegee. I think I came in about 8 years ago, and I toiled with the executive board or board of directors that it had to be more than just a crafts and arts and crafts commemoration. So we changed the name. I pervaded upon the board of directors to change the name to the George Washington Carver Commemorative Festival, which suggests that we can really go into the entire life of Dr. Carver and examine and research and become more familiar with the total Dr. Carver as a commemorative experience. So we are now in our 15th year with the George Washington Carver Commemorative Festival. As I said, it meets in downtown Tuskegee. One of the innovations of the festival this year, we're looking for anybody who knew Dr. Carver, anyone who had any relationship, even children who heard their parents talking about Dr. Carver. We want to invite them because they more or less are the image or the voice of Dr. Carver. And this year we are going, rather than going to a restaurant, we're going back to the Carver Museum for the Carver image reception. People like Mrs. Melanie Robinson, who was the nurse of Dr. Carver. People like Dr. Settler, who was, I believe he was Dr. Carver's paper boy. And we're trying to find as many people as we can who had any connection to Dr. Carver. So we are going to the Carver Museum on Thursday, May 3rd at 11:30 for a reception luncheon. There's so many children in the Macon County School District who have never been to the Carver Museum. I just cannot believe how many children I meet and I ask, have you ever been to Carver Museum? Never been there. So this year I'm taking a bus load from every school in Macon County, including the St. Joseph Catholic School. I'm taking a bus load of students to the Carver Museum for a complete tour. New students who have never been. If they've been, they won't be able to go on this trip. They'll have to go on their own again. Shirley Baxter of the National Park Service and the Carver Museum is working with us to get this initiative funded. So between now and the time that the students leave for the summer, we will have a busload from every school in Macon County, a busload of new visitors to the Carver Museums. Now let me just talk briefly about the Carver Festival Day. As you know, Saturday, May 5th will be the Carver Festival Day, the commemorative festival. And this year we're calling it it's a decade plus spectacular. Decade, 10 years plus spectacular. We will have a parade beginning at 10 a.m. downtown Tuskegee. And I'm so excited that we have two very, very important and dignified, distinguished parade marshals. Mrs. Sandra, better known as Sandy Taylor, of the National Park Service, will be the Grand Marshal. I don't think we've ever had a female as a Grand Marshal, so we're really breaking ranks. Mrs. Sandy Taylor will be the Grand Marshal. And then, because of the history, there's so much history here in Tuskegee, we've asked Dr. Bernard Lafayette. He will be the Historical Legacy Parade Marshal. All of you are familiar with Dr. Lafayette's role that he played with the Freedom Riders. But you need to know that Dr. Lafayette was also a major leader with the Selma Voting Rights Movement and the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. He is now actively affiliated with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Also on that day, we will have entertainers. We have invited some very outstanding stage entertainers. For an example, we will be entertained by Stan Chili Cooks and his band, the Wildcat Band, and the Blues City All-Stars. Those of you who are much younger than I am, you will be able to really appreciate the sounds and the beats of these entertainers. Go online. The best way to get the information about the Carver Festival is to go online. www.carverfestival.org. Everything you need to know in terms of the day will be addressed there.